Yeah, for sure. I am, like you said, the founder of Book Launchers. We're full service, self-publishing, so we help you with pretty much everything in the process, but only for nonfiction. So everybody's always asking me, when are you going to do fiction? And I feel like it's a lot to just master nonfiction. so so I don't think we'll do fiction anytime soon. But there's lots of people on my team who write fiction. But yeah, so I'm actually originally from Canada. I live in Las Vegas now, and it's sunny, and I mean, not to rub it in for anybody who's freezing, but it's fairly warm. I'm
Yes,
excited to be here. Thank you.
I'm so glad that you're here. And so we're going to jump right in. So a lot of folks, a lot of our authors ask, their book is complete, it's uploaded. What is the first step they need to do in developing a good marketing strategy tailored for their specific genre and their particular target audience?
So, I mean, when it's uploaded, I'm kind of like, ooh, we should have been working on this earlier. So, I mean, that's my first thought is, if you haven't uploaded yet, let's take a step back and think about marketing, because it's something that we start thinking about before the book even is written or fully drafted, because you want to make sure it's positioned for marketing right from the start. But if you're uploaded, well, let's deal with what we've got. The first thing I like to do is figure out, where are other people, where are my readers gathering in other people's audiences? And that's my first step, because even if I have my own audience, I want to think about where I'm going to have outreach for the book, and that's going to be the first thing, because that's never going to happen as fast as you want it to. I mean, you think about this, we've been planning this for weeks, right? So maybe even longer than that. I don't remember when we first started planning it. So it takes a while to get yourself in front of other people's audiences. So start making a list. Make your, if you want to call it a hit list, but make your list of people that you're going to reach out to that have your reader in other people's audiences, and then think about the messaging that's going to matter to each particular audience. So that would be where I start if your book is uploaded and now you're going, now what?
That's awesome. Thank you for that. So next question, what do you think are some of the most effective pre-launch activities that the author should focus on to kind of generate some buzz and anticipation around their title?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. Unboxing videos, I think, are fantastic. And if you are an IngramSpark author, tag IngramSpark in your unboxing video. It is a great way to get excitement and generate buzz, and people just love watching. I mean, look at the YouTubers who just have made millions just unboxing things. So unbox your book. That's one thing. Build as many people in your advanced reviewer kind of group as you possibly can. And there's so many authors that tell me, it's okay, I've got 50 people who are going to write reviews. And I always just smile, and I'm like, I really hope for your sake that's true. However, in my experience, about 10 to 20% of the people that say they're going to write a review actually follow through. So if you want to have 50 reviews, you can do the math. You want to have a lot more than 50 in your pipeline, so to speak, that are ready to write reviews for you. So just keep hustling on that. And really, like, there's services that are great for getting reviews, but ultimately the best tool is just to keep asking.
Absolutely. So reviews, guys, unboxing videos, you might want to write those down, guys. Okay, so how can authors identify and connect with their ideal readers if they haven't built like a significant like author platform or kind of built a social audience?
Yeah, that goes back to kind of what I say, once your book is uploaded, which is look at other people's audiences. That's the fastest way to grow your own audience, but also to get your book with momentum. My first book, it launched more than 10 years ago now, but it went to #1 overall on Amazon. And the reason was not, I only had about 10,000 newsletter subscribers, had no social media whatsoever. And it went there because I had a whole bunch of other people that had small to medium sized audiences that promoted my book. So other people's audiences can be tremendously powerful. So that is absolutely the main thing I'd focus on.
So leverage other people's audiences. I love that. Julie, I told you Julie is a pro at this. Do you think it's essential for authors to have their own website? And if they do have their website, what information do you think they should have on their website?
So I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, we had a client that we pitched him and we got him this national magazine. And we were so excited because this was going to be amazing exposure. And then they came and they said, yes, we'd love to have an article from him. They went and they said, where's his website? And he didn't have a website. And so from that day forward, we said every author has to have a website. It is everything. It's your credibility. No matter, I don't think it matters what genre you're in, but if somebody wants to learn more or they're about to feature you and you don't have a website, wah, wah, wah. So never, ever again would we lose a national magazine feature, because we will make sure every author has a website. So yes, what does it need? Well, it obviously needs information about your book. I would say the number one thing, other than your book information and your bio information, is to have some sort of an opt-in. And it's not a find out about my book opt-in. It's not a free chapter opt-in. It's something of value to your ideal reader, a checklist, a 7-step to achieve something, or, in fiction, it might be the pre-story. There's something there, but give them something of value to get an email address. And those, there's lots more you could do, but if your website has nothing else, those are the 3 things it must have.
Perfect. What social media platforms do you think are the most effective? I feel like there's so many that are coming out. You have Blue Sky, you have Threads. What platforms do you think are the most effective in reaching readers in specific genres? And I know you can talk more about the nonfiction genre because that's what you are an expert in.
I think I can make this answer for everybody. It's the platform that you're going to have the most fun and be the most consistent on. And of course, the tertiary piece is that your readers are actually there. But I think you'll find your readers on most platforms. I think it's pretty rare that somebody is hanging out on a platform there are no readers. So that's what I would say. I haven't been on a lot of social media because I only really like YouTube.
And if you're not following Julie on YouTube, make sure you're following Book Launchers on YouTube. She has amazing videos. And make sure you're following us on YouTube too, also IngramSpark. Make sure you're following us as well if you're not. That has a lot of educational material for authors on there as well. You talked about book reviews previously and about, leveraging your network, saying that probably you're going to get about 10%, maybe out of that 50. How are some effective ways that authors can get book reviews, or maybe get book reviews from reputable sources?
Yeah. So, there's lots of services that we use. We do Goodreads giveaways in pre-launch. They perform better. And with a print book, they're performing much better than a digital book now. So yes, you have costs that you have to send it out, but you're going to get better results. But we also use Booksprout and Book Sirens. They're 2, and not every book does well with each of them, but you might get a handful. We also written word media, more for ebook sales, but there's a new service called Get Authentic Book Reviews, and it is working so well. You have to be willing to review other people's books, but they are sticking to the terms and conditions of Amazon so tightly, and they're doing such a great job. And my book has been on there for 6 weeks, and I think I got 15 reviews from that site. So it's great. Check it out. It's new. And it's pretty cheap too. So
Get Authentic Book Reviews, Book Siren, and there was one more that you mentioned.
Booksprout.
Write those down, guys. Those are some really good resources. I haven't even heard of this last one, so I'll definitely have to write that down. Next question. What are some effective strategies if authors want to kind of reach out to book bloggers or influencers in their genre?
Yeah, try to make it organic. And what I mean by that is connect with them on social media, comment on their posts. And one of our authors, she ended up getting connected with Tom Peters through Twitter when it was still Twitter. And she just did it by engaging on some of his posts, and she got his attention. He kind of commented on something. She mentioned her book. And the next thing you know, he's endorsing her book. He read her book and he starts endorsing her book. And then he wrote, I don't remember if he wrote the foreword or gave a blurb for the cover, but then on her next project, he was, supporting and endorsing her completely. And it just started from organic conversation. So be genuine, add value. And, I also tell people, if you see they're going to be live somewhere and you can get there, that's the best thing. If you can meet somebody in person, if they're speaking or they're attending an event, that's the best way to build an organic kind of relationship where they might support you.
I love that. Networking in real life. Yeah. I love it. How can an author maybe track the success of their marketing strategies and kind of measure their return on investment?
I love this question because most authors, and again, I'm in nonfiction, so it's a tiny bit different, but most authors are like, I got to be a bestseller. But really what's most important to them is their speaking career, selling workshops, getting coaching clients, or some other kind of aspect. In fiction, it might be getting people into your series so they buy all 10 books. So think about what your main goal is, and then what metrics are going to matter for that. Sales are important because they tell you this promotion worked and this promotion didn't. But I don't think it's your number one metric. In a lot of cases, it's, am I getting new email subscribers? Is my overall platform growing? Have I got a new network that I can now rely on? So I would be tracking those metrics that are important to your main, bigger picture goal, and then use sales as kind of a gauge of what's working and connecting and what's not.
I love that. Making sure that the ROI, those metrics that are important to you. I love that. What do you think are some long-term strategies for authors for kind of building and maintaining a good author platform?
Yeah, I think the first thing is, know your energy, because a lot of authors put so much into launch, and then it's like they let their book die.
Yeah.
It's so sad, because it takes so much work and energy, and especially if you're DIYing the whole process, you're not hiring a company to support with things. It's exhausting. I joke that that's why I started Book Launchers, and it's not totally a joke. Like, I self-published and launched 2 books on my own, and thought, my gosh, I never want to do this alone again. So I created a company that I can just use. I'm like, here's a book, guys, to take it, to make this happen. So I think energy is a big part of it. But then just, you might be sick of talking about the stories from your book, but the people that are watching and listening, they've never heard it. And even if they've heard it once before, they don't remember. So keep talking about it. And that's why I say energy management comes into play, because you want to wake up pumped to tell your story for the 500th time and keep going, and your platform grows from there.
Keep that energy up, guys. What do you think are some of the biggest common marketing mistakes for the indie authors make, and how can they avoid them?
The number one is putting it on Amazon and thinking Amazon's going to sell their book. Yeah, right. It's not going to sell your book. I asked so many people, I'm like, so what have you done? Well, I put it on Amazon. Cool. So that's the biggest one. The second one is kind of what I already said, which is they stop talking about their book. It really is, always be book marketing. And a great example, I've been following Dan Martell. I don't know if you know who he is, but a nonfiction author, and his book Buy Back Your Time came out 2 years ago. He self-published, and it's 2 years later, and that guy is still on Instagram talking about the book almost every single day, and he just keeps going, and that book is still selling incredibly well. So just keep talking about it.
Absolutely. So it looks like we are getting ready to head into the question and answer portion of our episode. So if you have any questions for Julie, now is the time to ask. I think someone may have came onto the live a little bit late, and I think they probably want you to kind of reiterate the paid book review program that you kind of mentioned earlier. I think that's when he came in on. Can you just list those 3 one more time for the audience?
Yeah, so there was Book Sirens, Book Sprout, and then the one that I was talking about that a lot of people probably don't know about yet is Get Authentic Book Reviews. And this site, I'll just explain really quick how it works, because you basically sign up, you put your book into their library, and then you have to go into the library and choose a book, and then you go buy it on Amazon. So you usually, it's recommended that you set your book fairly cheap so that people can buy your book affordably. And then you review that book. When you do that, you get points. And those points then allow you to ask other people to review your book. So that's why it's completely legit. And, nobody has to review a book. So if you read a book and you're like, God, this is terrible, and you don't want to write a bad review, which I don't think authors should write bad reviews about other authors, then you just don't have to review that book. You just let them know. But it's a really, really great system. And I know it's been working really well for me to get a lot of reviews.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Does anyone have any other questions for Julie? Now is the time to put them in the comments below. Anyone have any questions? And also, we are keeping this episode recorded as we usually do, and then we'll post lives. So if you missed a portion, or if you just want to rewatch it just to take some notes, we do post that in the reels afterward. Hello. We've got some folks joining us. Wonderful. Well, if we don't have any questions, we're kind of just gonna jump into the giveaway portion, which is one of my favorite parts of the episodes. Uh-oh, we do have some questions, so I guess it didn't come through. It says, greetings, any ebook tips?
Um, yeah, so I mean, for us, we usually look at running quarterly ebook sales. So, and we run it for all platforms, but usually, the Amazon's the focus to get yourself kind of back in the Amazon algorithm favor, get new reviews. So, I mean, we do what's called promo stacking for ebook sales. And one of my favorite sites for that is Written Word Media. They have some really great programs to, put your book down at 99 cents and then buy the different promo sites and kind of stack. And stack just means you've got a different promo running each day for a 3-day period. So that's one thing that I really recommend. I think it does really well. You're not going to get rich running those promos. You might buy yourself a copy, but it's a great way to just keep momentum behind your book. So that's probably my best ebook sale.
I love that. Honey and Coco, we love you. I love your book. It's so cute. It's about friendship between two dogs and their adventures. I think she's asking, do you offer any PR services?
Yeah, for nonfiction authors, it's part of our services, if you will. We'll pitch for podcasts, we pitch for live appearances, and we also pitch media. We're not like a national publicist, so if you want Good Morning America, I mean, I hope you got the right topic for it, but but that's not our specialty. Our specialty is like niche media.
Awesome. I think Dawn asked a question for me. Are there any promos going on for March? Well, any promos, and this is just a general blanket statement, we send everything out in our newsletter, so make sure to go to IngramSpark.com. If you go to the bottom of the page, you should see an area where it says sign up for newsletter. So any type of promotion we typically send out in our email or we put it in the newsletter. Patricia says, is it a good idea to ask your social media followers for a review?
Yeah, you can. It never hurts. But what I will tell you is that you're unlikely to just get a review from a social media post. But what I do that I recommend is when you get a good review, post it on your social media as a thank you. But then it's kind of a reminder to people to go ahead and post reviews. And then it also promotes your book.
Absolutely. I call that our testimonial Tuesdays. We kind of do that at IngramSpark. If someone has a positive review that they've had an experience, we post that on Tuesdays, or we try to. Jeanette Everhay says, if I'm adding friends and family members into my nonfiction book, do I need their permission to mention them in my book?
So, I mean, I always, this is an up to you kind of thing. I'll tell you how I approach it. So for me, if I'm saying something very positive and favorable about somebody, I'm not going to ask their permission. It's as long as it's factual, right? I'm just stating like what happened and this happened. I'm usually not asking their permission. If it's something that doesn't make them look so favorable, I'm usually going to change some details. I'm usually not going to identify them by name. I'm going to say, somebody I went to school with did this. And I might even change the sex, right? I might not refer to them as a woman when, I'd say I might call it a he instead of a she, just to blur the details. So that's my personal approach. If you kind of have to tell the story, then I would talk to them about it, especially friends and family, just because relationships.
Absolutely. Great advice. So Ann Illustrate says she got bumped off the call, but she has launched a book on Sunday, and she got a big response, but noticed that Amazon has inflated her hardcover by $10. Is that allowed?
Is that allowed? Well, Amazon does whatever Amazon wants to do.
They absolutely do, but that does not change your author commission, what you make off that. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. The one thing I would say is sometimes the price changes aren't actually Amazon. It's a third-party company that has picked up your book. And you can just tell in the buy box who's doing the delivery of the book. That will tell you who's kind of picked it up. But sometimes that's what has happened. It's not Amazon actually. So it's easy for us to all say Amazon does what they want. But sometimes it's actually a third-party buyer, a third-party seller that's reselling your book.
Absolutely. Eliza72916 asks, Julie, do you have a favorite fiction company that's very similar to your company, Book Launchers, that helps fiction authors that you can recommend?
No, but if somebody knows of one, I get asked this question all the time, so I would love to be connected to one.
Also, on IngramSpark, just the shameless plug, we do have an experts page, or if you're looking for a full publishing company, we do have some experts there in different categories. So definitely check it out. It's IngramSpark.com. Just go to the drop down menu, experts, and then you'll see each category. And just kind of go through there, look at their websites. A lot of them offer different discounts for our IngramSpark authors and publishers. So just take a look and fill it out, see which publisher kind of fits your genre. We have a lot of questions. This is the most questions I've ever gotten on a live, so this is great. Glass Exa says, I write children's books and I want an audiobook for all my stories. Which would be the best way to approach?
I mean, I don't do children's books, but usually, I mean, for the ones that we listen to, because I'm a consumer, I like when it's a professional narrator that brings the voices to life. So I would strongly consider a professional narrator. And I'm just blanking on some of the networks that are doing them. Findaway Voices used to have it, but I don't think they do anymore. I think Authors Republic has a database or connections with narrators as a starting place, and they can publish from there too.
Wonderful. J Mountain Jewel says, thank you. Any audio book creating recommendations? I think Julie just mentioned that. I think we have one on our expert page called Sounded that you can kind of look into. Awesome. Let me make sure I'm not missing any questions. Hello, all the folks that are joining. Welcome. Let's see. I think that is it. I'm not seeing anything else. So we're going to jump into the giveaway portion of the episode. So hopefully you've been taking notes and writing down some of these key points that Julie's been talking about. And whoever gets the question right, or the first one that I or Julie see that responds in the comments, will win a prize. So all you'll have to do is send us a direct message at IngramSpark Books with your full name, your full physical address. We don't ship to P.O. boxes. With your address, city, state, and zip code. If you're out of the country, that is fine. I think we ship up to Canada and the U.S. We don't ship anything if you're not located in those two areas. So we're going to jump right in. What are some of the ways that Julie mentioned that you can get reviews? And she actually mentioned 3 companies, but you don't have to say those. You can also give some traditional ways that people get reviews, and the first person that we see put it in the comment will win a wonderful gift from IngramSpark.
It's fun waiting, right? Booksprout, there you go. Myrtle Editorial, I think, is your winner.
Perfect. Can you give me one more, Myrtle? Is it Myrtle Editorial? Can you give me at least 3 if you can?
Oh, there we go. Anne Illustrates was the first one to give 3.
Good. Perfect. Love that. And if you could just send me your full information to our DMs with your name, physical address, city, state, and zip, I'll get that out today. All right, next question. What did Julie say are some pre-launch activities that you can focus on generating buzz around your book? Some pre-launch activities. Winner, chicken dinner, yes.
I can't type fast on my phone, you know, right? Somebody got all 3 now, but the exact 3 companies that I mentioned.
Absolutely. So some pre-launch activities. Name at least 2 pre-launch activities.
I didn't mention it. TikTok live stream comments. There we go. Unboxing and advanced readers. Those were kind of the 2 main things I mentioned. Yep.
Absolutely. Dawn, send us your full information and I'll get that prize over to you. Love a good ARC reader. All right, the last question, and I always ask this on every episode, and it just seems to fail. So we're going to ask this again in 2025 because hopefully folks have went back and watched some of our previous episodes. So, my last question is, what are some of the previous topics in 2024 that we've discussed with some of our previous guests in 2024? And if you watch them, go watch them. They're really good.
We'll see if anybody gets it.
Let's see.
People are frantically trying to Google it and see if they can find it.
It's literally in our reel, so it's like it's every episode.
That's
every
funny.
episode.
That's funny. I came on late.
It's okay.
This
Anyway, so
yeah. you came on late and won a prize, so wait a minute.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
You're new here, so now you have lots of episodes to go back and catch up on.
We have plenty of episodes for you guys to watch with multiple topics.
I posted a question.
I'm sorry. If it's a support question or a question about your book or a book, make sure you send it over to our direct messenger. The questions that are asked here have to be related to the live.
I don't know if anybody's gonna get it.
I know.
Trying to think of a hint. Give them a hint. Give them a hint.
It's a rough crowd. Let's see. I would say some of them have to do with new marketing products that we've launched in 2024. So if you follow us, Julie, you even talked about it in one of your episodes. So you're also new. Awesome, welcome. Make sure you check out our previous episodes of Ask the Self-Publishing Expert located in our reels. Hint, hint.
That's good. I'm looking on there. I'm looking at, and you also, even if you just scroll down on your page, you can see some of the other things, I think, down below. Yeah, of course. Ask the Publishing Expert. Okay, I got an answer. Do I get a prize?
Well, you get one anyway for being a guest, so yeah.
I don't know if you're going to get anybody. Let's see if we could give them
one. I get this every time. I thought that they would have figured me out, but it's okay. So if you haven't, if this is your first time joining, thank you so much for joining today. I appreciate it. Please make sure to go back and watch our previous episodes. They're usually about 30 minutes or less. They have some really important topics, especially when you're launching your book. We have book marketing, we have metadata, we have title discovery, we have Ingram IT, we had Paige, which is our director of IngramSpark, kind of talk about new initiatives in 2025 and 2024, what we accomplished all of last year. So please make sure to go watch those episodes. Julie, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
First episode of 2025. I greatly appreciate it. Also, if folks want to follow you and learn more about book launchers, how can they find you?
Booklaunchers.com, and I mean, really, I encourage you to go to booklaunchers.tv, which is the YouTube channel. Comment, subscribe, hang out. That's where I spend my time.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Julie. Thank you so much to the audience.